Hello there, everyone. This is your old friend, the Jack of all trades, Commodore Urban, and I'm kind of, I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, I'm just wanted to tell you guys, I'm sorry for some of my fans about some of the crazy videos I've been uploading lately, like some of the review videos and stuff, like that one video I did, like sister and brother, talking about that comic, and just some of the other Loud House related stuff I've been doing. I've got addicted to the show. It's a great show. But I know there's probably some of y'all that probably wishing, where's the ship stuff? I know. When I started this channel many years ago, my main focus was about the great luxury liners. And so, don't worry guys, this video is going to be for all y'all. For anybody who likes history and wants to read a book about, not just ocean liner history, but also history of World War II. This book's about one of the most famous ships of that era. And the book we are reviewing, guys, is actually one of the books I got the other day. I showed you guys on Epic Bookstore. Epic finds it at Half Price Books. One of two books. We are reviewing Grey Ghost, the RMS Queen Mary at War by Steve Harding. This is a very impressive book. Basically, this book here is a historic overview of the career of the Queen Mary during World War II, like from the very beginning months until she finally was demobilized by the Royal Navy and returned to Cunard White Star to be restored back to a commercial passenger ship. Now, the book is not that thick. It's not that thick of a book. With all the pages, including like your selected bibliography and your acknowledgments, which I've read, because I'm a nerd, and about the author section, it's 84 pages long, but this will take you pretty good, probably about 2-3 hours if you had enough time to kill, because there is a lot of reading on some of these pages. But then again, there's a lot of great pictures too, and basically it stems all the way to the very beginning when the Queen Mary was in New York Harbor at about 1940 or so. Of course, you remember the famous picture of, the Normandy, the Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth, which that picture is right there, or one of them pictures is right there. Now the other really, where is that other picture at? Oh, right here. This is the other famous picture of the Queen Mary and the Normandy, side by side in New York. The Queen Mary being painted in this dull battleship gray, and the Normandy still in her beautiful, brilliant peacetime livery for the French line, which we all know about the sad demise of the Normandy, which that itself was just an act of fucking carelessness and stupidity. The reason why that beautiful French lady was destroyed to begin with. It was us Yanks being retarded as fuck and not watching out what the hell we were doing that we destroyed that poor ship. But anyway, this book is broken down into 6 chapters, and there's an introduction. Chapter 1 is the Queen called up. Chapter 2 is from Sydney to Suez, like her early career, ferrying troops to the Suez Canal in Sydney. Chapter 3, Caught in the Draft. Chapter 4, GI Shuttle, which is the shuttling service between, New York and Halifax to Greenock, Scotland. Chapter 5, Prisoners, Patients, and VIPs. Chapter 6, which is Peace and Repartition. There's an epilogue, your penances, your selected bibliography and your acknowledgments. See, your introduction, talking about the brief, basically like a brief general history of the Queen Mary before World War II. And basically, this book is quite amazing because, me as an ocean liner historian, I really don't look into the war careers of a lot of these ships that much because honestly, I fucking don't like war. War is just stupid. It's all it is. It's just people fighting for no damn reason. Oh, they don't agree with us. Let's fucking kill them. Oh no, they don't agree with us. Let's fucking kill them. Let's start a war. But I can understand about this war because Adolf Hitler and the rest of the fucked up people were wanting to turn the world into one big fucking Reich. That couldn't happen. So yeah, that and the Japanese fucking surprised our asses and destroyed half of our ships and killed a lot of our men in Pearl Harbor. So Great Britain and all the allied nations, including us, the U.S., we basically beat the shit out of them. But to help with the movement of so many troops, the government took over, the Queen Mary, and she's actually was one of the very first. I'll say here in a little bit, but the Queen Mary and also the not quite finished Queen Elizabeth, and for like 6 years or something, them two ships had strenuous service. And of course, the history, and during those years of trooping, the Queen Mary, which here's a really good picture of her right here. That's a very good picture of her. The Great Ghost, as she was known as, hence the title of the book. She never had any casualties or anything lost because of the war, but she did have one little niche in her career, and that's when she, on the I forget the damn date. It was in this book, but I'll just say it anyway. It was September 27th of I don't remember the year. It was September 27th. I do know that now. That she was off the coast of Ireland when she was being escorted by the HMS Curacao, which is this destroyer up here, and there was some miscommunication between the trooper and this destroyer escort. And what happened next is horrifying. The Queen Mary literally plows her stem right into the side of the Curacao, splitting this poor vessel in half and basically sinking her, But because of the rules and regulations of the day that she couldn't stop to come of assistance, HMS Curacao says here, as she appeared shortly before the fatal collision with the Queen Mary, only 101 of the cruiser's 439 officers and men survived the collision. And here's a picture in the Boston Naval Shipyard dry dock after the collision. The Curacao really fucked the Queen Mary up. But then again, the Queen Mary fucked that ship up because now the Curacao is sitting in two pieces on the bottom of the Irish Sea. And it wasn't until after the war, when they finally put a new stem on the Queen Mary and actually repaired it, 100% completely. That's crazy. But now for some of the statistics and stuff, which, some of my, number crunching fans out there will probably really get into, which I like, honestly, about doing this. Let me see here. But yeah, it says right here, The Queen, right here it says, while on His Majesty's service, the Cunarder and her crew had traveled over 600,000 miles, transported almost 800,000 human beings, and played a major role in virtually every Allied campaign in the Second World War. In the course of her duties, the Queen Mary had become the first ship in history to carry 10,000 people at one time. Yeah, 10,000 people at one time was crazy. The first ship in history to transport an entire American military division in one crossing, and the only ship in history ever to embark more than 16,500 persons on a single voyage. Though hunted by the combined forces of Germany, Italy, and Japan, the liner was never attacked, never fired her guns in anger, and most importantly, never lost a single passenger to enemy action. That's impressive, guys. That is absolutely fucking impressive. And there's a really nice picture here of her after she'd been demobilized with the Queen Elizabeth already commercialized in the background. That's a great picture of them. And finally you have a picture at the top of her back in service and one at the bottom of her as she sits in California. And of course you got your wartime specifications of the Queen Mary, which, you know, I could go in detail, but I'll probably go over time on this. Let me take a look at the time. Yeah, I probably will go over time with it because there's so much here. But I'll read this here real quick for the armament, because there's some guys out there that probably would like to know about the Queen Mary's armament during the war. In 1940 to 1942, she had one 4-inch gun, plus several World War I vintage Lewis and Vickers machine guns. Now from 1942 to 1945, she had a 1 6-inch gun. She had 5 3-inch high-low angle guns, 10 40mm cannons, and 5 double mounts. She had 24 20mm cannon and single mounts. She had 4 50 caliber Browning heavy machine guns. She had 4 2-inch anti-aircraft rocket launchers, plus assorted rifles, pistols, flare guns, and etc. So, my grading scale on this book, I have to give it 5 out of 5, guys, because, well, I didn't know much about her military history. I knew she became famous because of it under the name The Grey Ghost. I didn't really know much about it until I read this book. So yeah, I mean, it makes me really appreciate the fact that, you know, not just the legendary ship of peace, but also she was able to do so much to help us defeat the Axis powers in World War II, which, that's an amazing accomplishment. Steve Harding, the man who wrote this book, did an amazing job. And if you guys can ever get your hands on a copy of this book, I do so recommend doing so. It is an amazing book. It's a great read. It'll take you maybe 2-3 hours to read it. But I did it over a few days just because I don't like rushing through shit. And yeah, it's an amazing book. But again, it's called The Grey Ghost, The RMS Queen Mary at War by Steve Harding. And it's like an 83, 84 page book, like you see here. And it's an amazing read. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the review. If you have any questions or comments about anything, leave them in the comment section down below and I will get back with you. And if you are new to the channel, you like what I'm doing, hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified of it. And also you'll become part of the Commodore's crew. So until next time, this is I, Commodore Urban, saying have smooth seas and clear skies. Happy sailing with you, and God bless. You have a great day now. Take care. Bye-bye.